Hey YouTube, Willem Racer here. I apologize for the mess. I normally clean up before I do these videos, but I'm in the shop here today working on the Park Flyer Plastics P40 Warhawk. It's the big, almost quarter scale build that they've got. And I wanted to show a neat trick that I've been using to help capture the scale lines on the wing fillets, on the wing fairings here at the wing saddle. So this trick starts off with starting with a small plastic model. This is a Hasegawa P40 Warhawk model. It's not finished. I usually buy these kits. You can get them, I think I paid 30 or 40 bucks for this. It's not, you don't have to pay a whole lot of money for the models, but these are generally very accurate to the full scale thing. It'll help you get your panel lines right and that kind of stuff. So you pick up one of these models and you pick up what's called a profile gauge. I'll have a link below. I bought this one off of Amazon. It's not too expensive. And the way that this works, you actually establish a reference line on the model to a reference line on the aircraft and use your profile gauge. These work kind of like those magic pins where you put your hand or your face in it and you see the outline of it in 3D. Well, this is just a 2D version of that. So across a single line, we just press it here, and you'll actually get, that was a pretty poor job, but you get the idea. It'll give you an idea of the actual profile that you're trying to mimic. Copy that over to graph paper, scale it up, cut out some templates, and then the trick is to put that template on some thick, this is a much softer foam. It's not the foam we're building out of. It's basically, it's packing foam. So you're gonna put that template on packing foam, cut it out. If you've got a hot wire foam cutter, that's what I've been using, but you can use a knife, razor blade, anything like that. Cut out your template, and then what you're gonna do is just hot glue your sandpaper around. So now I've got a custom shaped sanding block that I can use to accurately get the particular profile that I'm looking for on the aircraft. And it works really well, and because it's a squishy foam, you're not really at risk of digging in or putting too much pressure so that you're actually going to gouge the foam. You also want to make sure that the paper overlaps the edges a little bit. If the paper's right there at the edge, it'll be more likely to catch and gouge into the foam. You don't want that, so make sure it overhangs a little bit. You can kind of roll it back a bit so that it's almost like a ramp. You want the foam to kind of slide underneath it and not catch that edge. So that's really all there is to it for this tip. It's been working out really well for capturing these lines. And what's nice is now I have this for the other side. I can kind of use it as a gauge going back and forth. It's not going to be 100% scale, but it's going to get your lines much better than just eyeballing it one side to the other. So I'm going to come back and do another video later on getting clean edges and seams on our builds here. One of the things that foam does not do well is clean edges especially when you're doing fiberglassing. It's why we balsa line our hatches and that type of stuff. It's why we have sheeting, and I'm doing some other work here at the wing saddle to get a nice clean seam there. Because if I just left it as foam, especially from taking the model apart and putting it back together over and over again, the foam here on the edge where it's that thin would wear out. So we're going to do another video on how to deal with that. That'll be the next video in the series. And we'll see you soon. Take it easy.